So about a month ago, when I was back in Seattle, I had the opportunity to volunteer with my aunt. She works for the Refugee Women's Alliance. It's an organization that provides support not just for women, but for any refugee from anywhere in the world, and teaches English. They teach culture. They teach um, how to get a job. How to pay for rent, how to set up a bank account. They basically just provide a support so that people, when they're first coming to America, they have someone that's looking out for them. And so I was really excited about volunteering here and drove down there. Wasn't really sure what to expect. I remember before I even walked in the door, I remember smelling something wonderful. I wish that I could remember what the dish was called, but uh, whatever it is, it was really tasty. So yeah, anyway, I um, walked in the door to what looked like a third grade classroom. They had like the alphabet up on the wall, um, like cartoony pictures, exactly what you would expect from like an elementary school classroom. It was clear that people were learning English for the first time there. But I walked in and everyone was really excited to see Miss Karen's nephew. Everyone was very pumped on that, and um, welcomed me right in. Very friendly people. They had just finished a class. My aunt, she teaches English as a second language, and so they had just finished a class. I asked what I should do, and um, she said, "Why don't you take these two gentlemen and help them look for jobs, help them apply for jobs?" She gave me some instruction on that as well, as far as where to look, what type of jobs to look for, and um, so I sat down at these old computers. I mean, like Windows 98 old. But it didn't really matter. I mean, I was there to help these guys, and that's what I was going to do. I wish I could remember both their names. I know that one of the gentlemen's names was AU, and he was from Ethiopia. They were both from Ethiopia. I can't remember the other gentleman's name, but um, big smiles on their faces, ready to go. And so, yeah, we started looking for jobs, mostly looking for hotels for housekeeping jobs. That's what my aunt had kind of told me to focus on. And yeah, I spent, uh, I don't know, about 45 minutes to an hour just looking through all these different jobs. And it was a really interesting process because as I was helping them, I was also having conversations with them, and they told me multiple times that they were just happy to be able to practice their English and just have conversations. I mean, it was actually really fun. Like we talked about music, we talked about sports, talked about movies, and really just light conversation. Just um, they were enjoying it. I was definitely enjoying it. Um, there were a couple times where they got discouraged about just the job searching process. I mean, I know I've been there, and I actually have I can actually speak the language. Um, I really respected these guys for the positive attitude that they had, despite this, what really felt like an uphill battle. Um, and Yeah, it was really interesting hearing them talk about like one of the gentlemen said that he went in for an interview and was basically essentially turned away. I mean, it was a very short interview, and he was confident that it was because he was a refugee. It was one of the only times that I heard either of the two gentlemen, well, really anyone in there complain. Um, but we. Um, Yeah, so we were applying for jobs, and I actually thought back to one of my old jobs. I worked as a property manager, and um, ended up having them apply as parking booth managers or parking booth attendants is just another option, as well as the hotels, the housekeeping jobs. And fun fact, I actually heard 2 weeks ago that AU, the gentleman that I was helping out, he actually got the job, and he's now working as a parking attendant at my old job. So I'm excited to go back there and see him working there. But all in all, it was a really excellent experience for me, to be able to see the small struggles that these refugees are going through and the ways that they cope with it and the ways that they overcome it through community, through laughter, through games. I mean, I wrestled with some of the little kids for, I don't know, like 10 minutes just because they had the biggest smiles on their faces, and everyone was running around and just having a good time. And like I mentioned, like the class was over, but everyone was just spending the day there and spending the day together in this community where you had people from really all over the world, and they all came together as refugees, and they had this common uniting factor, and it was really inspiring to see, and just how inviting they were, and it really put things in perspective for me, and it reminded me to be accepting of other people and give other people a chance. I mean, these two gentlemen, they were just excited to have a conversation, and sometimes it's just small things like that that can keep a person going through the day. And these people have incredible hardships. They had to leave their home. Many of them had to leave their family, and yet they still maintain this positive attitude. So it was really inspiring on that front as well. But I definitely look forward to volunteering there again when I'm back in Seattle, and hopefully finding a similar program here in the Boise area.